these are a few options that I found for permanent marker ink refills. So we have two from Pilot. We have this with no xylene, which is an alcohol-based solution. You can find all the formulations, or at least the chemicals it contain, in the MSDS documents. It's published because these are chemicals. You can find all that stuff, including for the markers. So there's two different versions of this of the Pilot. There's the no xylene, which is alcohol based, and then this doesn't say xylene, but it has xylene in it. And this is the one that is the mark. Remember those markers that are really smelly, just smell awful and kind of make you feel lightheaded when you're using them. So that's xylene based, and so we're not going to use this because it's not compatible with the cartridges that are in the Marksmith. So we'll set that aside. So that narrows down the options to these. This, I ordered a black one too. It hasn't arrived yet, but the colors should be suitable. I can probably just use the red, the blue one to test that out. The black one says it's on back order currently. I'll find a different source for it. So we have, this is Edding T25, and it's also a permanent marker ink refill that's designed primarily for their markers, but this one has the most similar chemical formulation that I found to the Sharpie markers. It smells pretty similar. Here we have 2, which is red, 3, which is blue, 4, which is green. Now, if you were using colored Sharpie refills cartridges, you could use these different colors to refill those. The black one is number 1 and not shown here yet. So for the purposes of this test, I'm just going to use the Pilot Supercolor marker refill ink here that's alcohol based. Inside we're going to find a glass bottle and a little pipette or a dropper, eyedropper. If I was to do it more, I kind of like the style of these bottles where it has a dropper tip on the end, pour it in. I think it is a lot less chances of it spilling out than there is with this. So I would probably eventually go with this once I get the black to test out. This Edding ink is made in Germany. It seems to be available in many countries. This ink, Pilot by Pilot, is made in Japan. Here it says made in Japan on the side. And so I haven't seen any like made in the US stuff yet, but I think that the fact that these are made in Japan and Germany should mean they're pretty available all over the world. So for the purposes of this video, we're just going to use this black refill right now since the cartridges are black. So I'm going to set these aside and we'll do a color refill in the future separately. This cartridge has been purposefully used up and allowed to dry out to show that how the refill works. Okay, so I'll show that it's just making very light marks. And this has been, after using it up, I let it open to the air to dry out for a while. It still makes ever so slight marks, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's dry. Okay, so now I'm going to remove it and refill it. The top just pops off like this, and then you have access to the felt inside. I'd recommend wearing some gloves to do the refill. If you're careful, you probably don't need to. So opening this up, and I'm going to take the dropper, suck some up in here, and then it soaks right in there. Seems to absorb it pretty rapidly. And I see it coming up there, so I'm going to stop there. I don't want to overfill it and have it like leak out. And I'll put the cap back on. There we go. Let's see if it's already soaked in. No, we'll let it sit for a little bit and see how it works after it gets some time to soak in. Once it's filled, you can go ahead and put it back in and make sure that it exits properly. And put the top on and screw it on. And I think the marks are actually really nice, very dark. Seems to be working well. The ultimate test is really to mark on something that's not paper and see how well it works. So